Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a lovely and rare Lange Söhne Lange 1 Soirée. This is a version of the Soirée, the 160029, again, made across two model years, 01 to 02. The example you see right here was sold in 2003. It features a spectacular, fully integrated Wellendorf designed and fabricated bracelet. This watch is one for the ages. It's very wearable. At 38.5 millimeters in diameter, it is 10.5 millimeters thick, and if we include the outermost rigid outcropping of the bracelet case combination, then the total distance across the wrist is 48.2. And again, this watch is designed exclusively for use on the Wellendorf bracelet. Throwing it on my wrist, you can see this version of the Soirée wears a little bit larger than one of the strap-clad models, and that's because of the integration of the bracelet. But you can also see down the barrel how much clearance I have on each side. The lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, so it doesn't appear to be overlapping. This is a watch that a woman could actually wear. If your wrist is 13.5 to 14 centimeters in circumference, you're going to be able to pull this off. And you can see that with a domed bezel and a low flank, it will slide underneath the cuff. It's also nicely counterweighted with the buckle and the bracelet, preventing it from hula hooping if you do want to wear it loose, which many people often do. Taking a quick look, the bracelet's a work of art. You could see polished and satinated. It's sizable using conventional screws, so you can size this with a jeweler's screwdriver, and we've got plenty of individual removable links. We also have a couple of different locking points internally where you can crimp and then pin the opposite side of the bracelet. Now you can see the maker's mark internally. There's the Wellendorf W. Wellendorf, a German jeweler that for a long time created the Lange factory bracelets, and they are magnificent. The feeling of quality and substance is unrivaled. There's also a supple, almost fabric-like feel to these links as they glide across your fingers and on your wrist. A wonderful feeling and a real privilege. Now the case is simple, but very different from a standard Lange 1. Whereas a standard Lange 1 will have lugs stepped out and then a strap in between. Here we have welded on lugs. This is a bit of a more involved fabrication, as you have to weld and then remove the evidence of the gathered joint to get that sharp break between lug and case. You can see that the case has a combination of polish and satin. Even the pusher adjuster for the Panorama Datum features a combination of polish and satin. We have a Lange branded crown, and then we have a dial. Let me just make sure we're not in the date change danger zone there. So you can see we have both a hacking seconds function and then a quick set pusher adjuster with the feel of a fine column wheel chronograph such as a dotograph. But the Soirée has two different combinations. Actually, there's a couple of different variants. You can get it on a strap or you can get it on a bracelet. Bracelet more expensive, far less common. You can get it with a guilloche dial, which is probably the more common treatment, or this conventional smooth mother of pearl dial with white mother of pearl. So this is an unusual combination to get both the smooth dial and the integrated bracelet. Now the frame for the date, the numerals, the indices, the hands, they're all white gold to resist tarnish and oxidation over time. And the white mother of pearl used here, it's almost like a kaleidoscope with three dimensions and a chimera-like quality as colors appear and disappear as you move it through the light. It's bewitching, bewildering, and beguiling. We also have a power reserve indicator off to the side with a 72-hour power reserve. We have a little bit of an overlap between seconds and the hour-minute sub-dial. Of course, we have a frame for the date made of gold, nothing less on a watch like this. The orientation of the parts relative to each other, the product of advanced mathematical calculations and geometry with aesthetic attractiveness sort of designed in at the primordial level using mathematical principles. Turn it all over, and what appears at first glance like it might be a conventional Lange 1 L901 movement is somewhat dispelled by this notion that it's the .4 variant, and because there is a different thickness between a standard Lange silver dial, sterling silver that is, and this mother of pearl, there are different pinions used on the mounting points for the hands and the complication. So as a result of those different pinions, this gets a unique reference, 901.4. Manual wind, twin barrels, 3-day power reserve, hacking seconds, 3 hertz beat rate, 53 joules, adjusted in a chronometer style, 5 positions. This is a watch that's 30 meters water resistant and beautifully decorated with German silver or nickel copper zinc bridges and plates, and the copper gives it its golden hue. Stripes across the bridges, freehand engraving on the balance cock, executed using a burin, and no machines or lathes. We have black polished as well as blued, fire blued screws, black polished cap to the escape wheel. We have a black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism and stud holder. You can also see a very sharp interior angle, rendered in steel no less, atop the cap to the escape wheel. And then we have mirrored anglage on the edge of all of the bridges, as well as the edge of the access ports inside the 3/4 bridge. We have golden jewel cups set in the bridges using screws. These are chatons. This is a nod to the way pocket watches would have been made during the heyday of East German watch manufacture in Glashütte back in the 19th and the first half of the 20th century. And then there's engine turning on the base plate with satination on the wheels. It is quite pleasing. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Lange Söhne Lange Soirée.